Hey, good morning. Welcome to Thursday 30. It is January 27th. I'm Dr. Kate Walker. Please take a second and just kind of check out the ticker below me because we've got some amazing events coming up in February. Amy Wine is going to talk to us about how to do the best week ever, which I'm assuming is about balance because a good week for me is a balanced week. But today, not but, and today I'm going to talk to you about marketing because in January, that's kind of what we were hitting on, all the things having to do with marketing. We talked about selling the invisible. Craig Alsop was our mentor of the month this past Monday, and he did an amazing job of helping us understand content and SEO and how to make sure that your location is within 8 miles of your office. And so if you haven't contacted Craig, please do so. He's a member of this group, which is an amazing group. We are over 1,700 people, 1,700 badasses in this group, mental health providers from all over Texas. And actually, I think we're getting some folks from all over the United States right now looking for ways to make sure they are running the most ethical, profitable, constructive, enjoyable practice they possibly can because you started this. It's your story. It's your business. You're creating something that your community is going to depend on. And you are too important to lose to things like not knowing what marketing is or getting in trouble or going broke, burning out, and giving up. So I'm going to teach you some things about SEO and content today. But as you saw in my little teaser thing in the thread below, I cannot make you do these things. I'm a pretty damn good teacher. I've been doing this. Let's see, I started teaching piano lessons when I was 14 because I hated babysitting and I could make more money teaching piano lessons. So I have been teaching a really long time. I love teaching. I love the thrill I get when somebody gets it. Here's what I know though. Everybody learns differently. And so if you know me, you know my business, Kate Walker Training, I've tried to develop asynchronous online courses. But you know the comment I get again and again and again? When are you going to do a workshop? When are you going to be live again? When are we going to have this so we're all in person, right? Because I know some folks don't learn best online. They learn best in person, right? So we have and I know this is not what you're used to, right? We're used to like kinesthetic learners and whatever the other learners are, right? But I think that whole thing's been debunked. Then we hear about 10,000 hours, right? And if you put in 10,000 hours, you will be an expert. Here's the way I look at it. Here's the way I teach my students. You can be an experienced learner, right? You want to get your hands dirty. You want to get in there. You want somebody to hold your hand and get in, and in a good way, hold your hand, help you, teach you, explain it to you. And I love that. Some of you are like, get out of my way. I want to do this online. I can do it at my own time, at my own pace. And I love that too. Here's the other thing though. Some of you are deadline addicts and you know who you are. Parkinson's principle, Paretti's principle, the Pomodoro technique. Some of you do your best work when you are up against it, when there is a deadline looming, and then you get your act in gear and you get it done. I know you because some of you have taken my 40-hour training before, and you're the folks who are in the last 2 to 3 weeks are pumping out assignments like nobody's business because you know the course closes in 90 days. That's okay. That's actually me. I'm a deadline person. Love me some deadlines. In fact, I've set false deadlines all the time. And if you go to our YouTube channel, I talk about that in my time management video. It's very, very effective for folks like us. So today I am literally going to walk you through how to get into the back office of a website, how to tweak SEO and tags and the things, how to find good search terms quickly and inexpensively. And that's pretty good information. I'm launching something next week, though, that is even better. It's going to take all of these concepts and I'm going to concentrate it. I'm going to do monthly lives. I'm going to do monthly question and answer. I'm going to do monthly interview with an expert, and it's going to be with a very small group of people. So please stay tuned for that, because I want to get my hands dirty with you guys. I need to see what your barriers are. If your barrier is, Kate, I just don't like online learning, then we'll get face to face. Let's get this together. If your barrier is, I don't want you to teach me, I just want to do it myself, I will back off, and I will give you every single course in my catalog, except the 40-hour training. But I will give you every single course in my catalog. If you're the kind of person who's up against it, you want a deadline, great. Let's do a practice challenge. Let's do something that's going to challenge you and give you a reward at the end. So with that being said, let us jump into the thing. So if you look over here, you will see, let's make me little. There we go. This is my website. So one of the things that marketing is about is sort of ringing a bell, right? Becoming a shiny object. And in counseling, what we're hoping is that folks are already looking for you. And one of the videos we did earlier, the Facebook Lives, I think in week 2 of January, we talked about, if you're a dentist, you want to be found. If you have a toothache, you want to find a dentist. And so this is something where, as a counselor, you're really obligated to explain what it is you do, right? With a dentist, everybody kind of knows what they do. With a counselor, not so much. So when we have our content and we're thinking about pushing out content, there are a couple of things you must have in your content. Number one, and we learned this from Craig Alsop on Monday, location. You must have a location, even if you're virtual, right? There are a lot of people in Texas. And so think in terms of an 8-mile radius of your primary location. And how do you saturate that 8-mile radius with your presence? Well, one of the ways to do that is to get into your website and create a location page. And Craig talked about that. So please reach out to him and he can tell you more. The other thing you must do is to create SEO heavy content. So think about, and this requires you to do some thinking, right? What is your niche? How do you practice? Do you like couples? Do you like individuals? Do you like grownups? Now, don't get so drilled down that you're thinking about, a certain, just don't get so specific, right? But if you are a CBT counselor and you help people with anxiety and you're pretty good at it and you prefer to see men over women, then that's what your content has to put out there. So let's talk about keywords first, right? I'm going to click away from my website. Where do you get keywords cheaply, quickly? No brainer. Here we go. I'm going to Google. I'm going to go to the Google machine and I'm going to Google counseling. Now let's see. What is the best counseling for anxiety? Okay, let's see what the Google machine has to say. Oh, we got a lot of people showing up high. Nice, nice, nice. But here's where I want to draw your attention. Right here. These questions are highlighted by Google because this is what people ask. Ding, ding, ding. These are keywords. These are search terms. These are important. So what type of counselor should I see for anxiety? What do counselors do for anxiety? Is counseling good for anxiety? These become the headings in your content. Okay, what does that mean, Kate? Well, let's go to our content. Let's go back to my website and we're going to go to my blog, Counselors, #Counselors for Life blog. I've talked about you got to have access to your back office, right? This is one of those moments. So in my back office, I'm going to click on, let's see, Marketing 101. What do you actually do for a living? Well, let's just pretend that this is a content that I want to optimize for anxiety. Let's say I want to optimize this so clients in my 8-mile radius can find me and see me because I help people with anxiety experience peace and harmony and tranquility. All right. So here I am in my blog. First thing I'm going to do, I'm going to click Edit post. When I click edit post, I'm going to be taken to that magical land called the back office. Again, if you're not sure what to do here, go to my YouTube channel, Dr. Kate Walker, or YouTube Kate Walker Counselor, because there are lots of Kate Walkers out there. And I have done a YouTube video about finding and getting into and drilling into your back office. What do you actually do for a living counselor? Well, what we might want to do here is go to one of these questions and put that as the title of the blog. What type of counselor should I see for anxiety? All right, let's go in there. And easy peasy. What kind of counselor should I see? Oops, not we. See for anxiety. Next, I'm going to go to these headings, right? These are called H1 or H2 headings. So I want to make sure that I use that content again, because we know Google likes it already. So this is a heading 2 or an H2. So let's see, what's something else? What do counselors do for anxiety? That sounds like a great heading. So I'm going to put that here. What do counselors do for anxiety? Question mark. And then I'm going to have one more heading here. So those are my H1 headings. Those are my titles. Where did I get them from? I got them from Google. Bam. And now I'm going to go over here to the magical land called tags. The tags are really important because the Google machine will crawl your website looking for these words. So we're going to want to make sure we have counselor, counseling, anxiety, therapy, therapist, LPC, licensed professional counselor, every permutation, to use a math term, to add to my tags here. Then I'm going to want to go in and make sure my content, obviously I'm not going to tear apart my blog today for you guys, but yes, you're going to have to make sure your blog talks about anxiety, all the things you know about anxiety, why you feel like you're good at treating anxiety. Finally, at the end, you're going to want something called a call to action, or at least put your name. Post by Kate Walker, all the things. Contact her at, and then at my support, or my full slate link goes right there, because you guys know I like to do 10-minute consultations. So when you have the call to action at the end, you've got tags here in the side, because this is what your back office is supposed to do. It's supposed to do this for you when you have your tags. I pay for something called Yoast. Yoast is Yoast Premium down here at the bottom, and that helps me find and make sure that I'm optimizing and using the right keywords and things like that. So you might even want to have an extra service like that. Now, because I'm not going to tear up this blog, I just wanted to use it as an example. I'm just going to click out of it, and it's going to tell me, wait, you're going to leave and the changes won't be saved. And I'm totally okay with that. Leave. Bye-bye. And that's how you go in and adjust your content. All right. So some of you were like, yes, this is just what I needed. Others of you were like, I don't know what she's talking about. I can't do this. Right. Others of you are like, give me half an hour and I'll get it done. Right. Those are our 3 types of learners. Right. You love to do things on your own. Just hand you the instructions. You're going to build the IKEA shelf. Right. I get you. I've got the others who are like, please sit with me, talk with me, let me have some interaction with you as I learn this. I get you guys, right? And then our third person who's just like, hey, if you throw me up against a deadline, I'll figure out how to split an atom. You know, I'll do whatever you need me to do. Just make sure there's a deadline and make sure there's a reward. So your barrier to marketing might not be because this stuff is hard or complicated, or you're an introvert and it requires you to be an extrovert and you hate shaking hands and you hate going to meetings and all that. It might be just that you haven't found a way to learn this stuff that meshes with how you learn best. I hope to help you with that with the Step It Up group. So the Step It Up group is going to be an additional step for you guys. Obviously, Step It Up. but it's going to have everything. It's going to have absolutely everything. And it's going to have me in there to talk you through it if you need me, right? So please consider, I'm going to launch it next week. You're going to be getting some emails about it. I know I'm bugging you guys with the emails, and part of that is because I'm learning a new system, but thank you for your patience. But please think about this Step It Up group as you're leveling up your practice, right? If this stuff isn't intuitive, if it seems too hard, it's not because it's hard. It's just because you really need to be taught differently. You can do this. It's important. It's very important. So now February, let's talk about that real quick. February, we are going to talk about Google reviews, sharing the love, making sure that you know how to give a Google review. How do you find Google My Business? How do you make sure that you can give that review link to folks to give you awesome reviews? And of course, the dreaded, what do you do when you get a bad review? We'll talk about that too. Thank you for watching today. I'm Dr. Kate Walker, and this has been your Thursday 30. Have a fabulous day.